Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Shadows of Nox. Tonight we're going into Echoes of the OSS as usual. Tonight's episode is A Matter of Time as we go into, let's see, I believe this is number 4 of doing the Chaosium scenario, The Code, done by Christopher Lackey with Lynn Hardy. And we'll just jump right into it. Let's see if that'll load, right? Okay. So, last time you all, discovered various things between the journal and everything else as far as the 7-foot man and his name apparently being Joseph and what that might mean. Nora was researching a lot of different things. Cherry was tracking down Clint Connolly, and Forrest was just finishing up his recovery. We won't have Rocco with us tonight, but that is fine. His character is recovering from his encounter with the 7-foot man. And before we go into introductions, I'd like to go over the content warnings for tonight. It's same as usual. It's Call of Cthulhu after all, right? So, content warnings are, let's see if, Teslan, would you be able to get them up? I'm trying to remember them myself.
Yeah, they're up there.
Amnesia, blood and gore, guns and violence, disembodied voices, eldritch horrors, of course, Call of Cthulhu, and again, occult practices. So, you have been warned, I guess. But we'll go around, I'll have everybody introduce themselves, and you can do a brief introduction of your character, or however you want. Ava, if you could start us off.
Yes, I'm Ava Rogers. I am playing Nora Shea, the older sister of I forgot my sister's name. I'm a bad sister. Cherry. Thank you.
Matthews. Nice to meet you.
Cherry Matthews.
Right. Not like she's a celebrity or anything. You're fine.
Cryptographer going for her. I forgot what she's even. I've forgotten everything, apparently. Studying at Harvard for her master's in... I can't remember now.
Was it the languages one or mathematics? Philology was the language one. Was that it?
Oh, I can't remember. I thought we talked about it in DMs, but I guess not.
I think we did, but I can't remember which one it was.
Oh well, she's studying at Harvard.
Right. Yeah, a lot of things, right?
A lot of things.
All right. Next up, Christina, if you could introduce yourself. And yeah.
Sure. I am Christina. I play Cherry Matthews. She is an actress, a singer. She plays in, I like to describe it like the Desi Arnaz type of clubs is where she sings. During the end of World War II, she hooked up with a mentor and learned how to be a very efficient spy. And she is hooked up with this group, or has been asked to work with the OSS. And they've recruited her a little bit. She's a little bit more mouthy and than a spy should be, but she's still learning. She's a lot younger than everyone. I believe she's 20. Yep. And Nora is her sister, but they don't really talk about it.
Doesn't talk about it, right? I think Ava actually just figured out what her master's program is for Nora. So if you want to go ahead and share that.
It is. She's going for a Master of Arts in Applied Sciences.
Yes. And that was in relation to computers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's electrical engineering, computer science.
Right. Yeah. Because Nora spent some time working kind of alongside Alan Turing during the war. I don't think she was directly in that inner circle he was a part of, but she was over there in the same
But he still owes me
place
20
working on
bucks.
Project Ultra.
He thought he
But yeah,
could.
she was over at Bletchley Park.
He thought he could get out of that. Thought he could get through the card game by counting cards. It's all a game of bluffing.
Mhm.
And with that, Teslan, if you would introduce yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Teslan Kierinhawk, Tom Augustine. Also,
Yeah.
I am playing Florist Flanagan. He is a soldier. He left school early. So despite that, he does have a slightly higher than average intelligence. He doesn't got a whole lot of buck learning. So he ain't always saying the right words, but irregardless, he is a very good bodyguard for Nora Shea, who needs one because there have been considering what she could do. This is during the Red Scare, and
Right.
there was already one attempt to get her with that.
Mhm.
And I've spent the last couple years being the only successful bodyguard to her in that I've lasted.
Yeah, most of the other ones have quit,
Yes,
essentially.
I have not quit.
Of course, if Forrest keeps talking like that, I think Ava's going to quit.
I can get away with I can get away with using those words. I figure once a quarter.
Once a
and
quarter of the year, or
once a quarter of the year, and I didn't use any during the summer, so
that is fair. He's making up for
So
it.
you've used up your quota for the rest of the year.
That's what I heard.
So going into our story, one of the things that happened last time with Nora is Professor Aiken, the one who runs Cruft Lab, the computer lab at Harvard, seemed rather upset wanting to talk to Dr. Sommerfeld. Came by, mentioned some of the problems that he's had, that Dr. Sommerfeld got into the computer lab, used the key punch machine to write programming for a computer, and they've also come up with some missing inventory that from an intern that Professor Aiken has. They indicated that it was Dr. Sommerfeld that checked out said equipment. A series of bulbs, 10 rotary switches, some Fleming valves, typical stuff, right? But he kind of tossed up a wadded piece of paper at Nora's desk that happened to be something he found in the trash that was probably computer programming that Dr. Sommerfeld did. Professor Reagan believes that because it doesn't look like any American computer programming that he's familiar with. But Nora, as you look at it with your experience at Bletchley Park and everything, go ahead and let's see. Let me see what. Think it would be because of the time period and everything. I think go ahead and give me a mathematics roll for looking at this. See how roll 20 is liking anybody tonight. Ooh, a success. Barely, but a success. Yeah. So, looking at this, you're not very familiar with this style of coding. But you do recognize that this coding was specific to German computer programming during World War II. Because of different bits of intelligence that were recovered, you were able to see enough of some of it to kind of recognize the general pattern that it's in. But the other thing that you recognize with it, and that you kind of recall, is it's based on propositional calculus. So it's essentially a sheet of various math formula and equations that each have a series of various variables, which is a horrible sentence. A series of multiple variables for each one, right? But looking it over, they each, if certain conditions are met based on what Nora is able to read of it, they each equate to 0, which, based on Nora's knowledge, that essentially means a result of a no or off or whichever, depending on what part of that programming that was supposed to apply to. Right.
Okay.
But they all seem to be in reference to different conditions. Some of them have some of the similar conditions in different mixtures, right? But either way, they all equal 0 at the end. Like, so if any of those are met, it's, the computer says no to something or turn something off or something like that, right? This does look like it was a draft of the programming because it doesn't look completely finished. And being that he crumpled it up and threw it away, if Dr. Sommerfeld was the one that made it, he clearly wasn't happy with it.
Right.
But yeah, that is what you were able to make out of the computer programming.
Okay.
And that was, I think, earlier in the day before you went and met with everybody else. I believe everybody kind of met essentially at the hospital, and that's kind of where you were going over some of the information while the door was closed and there weren't any nurses present, right? So I believe at the moment where we currently are, since you were all kind of conferring, you're all in the same room. Nora was able to uncover from the departmental mail of the physics department not only a letter from Dr. Sommerfeld, but also apparently a telegram, which, of course, Nora noticed right away seems rather odd because he misspelled his own name.
Yeah.
But in figuring out the letter, you discovered that it has a 10-digit code and kind of a 2 set of 3-digit code, so 2 different 3-digit codes separated by a period or a decimal, depending on how you want to look at it, right? So with that part, while everybody's kind of in that room taking a look at it, people can go ahead and give me intelligence or library use rolls for it.
Either or.
Either or.
My intelligence is actually better.
Yes.
Granted, my
All
intelligence is 90, so it's better than literally anything else right now.
Right. Wow, Forrest got an
Go
extreme success.
Well,
All right.
I haven't been able to move. My brain is supercharged by my lack of physical activity.
Right. Nora might get a kick out of what Forrest figures out.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Cherry, you what, as you all are sitting there thinking of, what these numbers mean, what this is, a nurse happens to walk in and out of everybody here flags Cherry over, says there's a phone call apparently for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's out here at the desk, and then the nurse just leaves the room again.
Okay. That's weird. Guess I have a phone call. I'll be right back.
All right. So Cherry, you walk out into the hall. The nurse at the desk hands you the phone. And he goes,
Hello.
is this Cherry Matthews? And you recognize the voice as Agent Gleason.
Hey, buddy.
How are you? How's progress going?
Well, I have not been able to actually physically see Clint or track him down,
Mhm.
but I certainly am on a hot trail. I have I have gotten a job at that bar, so I'm becoming very friendly with everyone there. So I'm hoping that gives me more people to
This was a
talk
bar
to.
he frequented, or
Yeah, yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. And I'm starting to know some of the locals. Um, I hope it's okay. I'm making quite a bit of money. Um,
Yeah,
I was
that's
thinking
fine.
about buying a watch like yours.
I do rather like my watch. I might have to show you more of the watch sometime, so you actually get the right one, though. It's pretty specific.
Okay, okay, sounds good.
But
Yeah.
I am on my way to Cambridge at the moment to try to kind of catch up and, you know, see how everybody's doing. So,
You don't have to make it an excuse. You can just say you wanted to spend time with me.
well, maybe we'll hit up the bar. I
Nice.
could use a drink.
Great. I'll sing you a song.
I'll look forward to it.
Okay.
You're
And then he just hangs
man.
up.
And she's just gonna giggle to herself, like, and she'll walk back.
While Cherry was busy, Nora taking a look at the numbers and everything again that you're looking at. You again thinking about the whole computer aspect, right, of things. You recall, okay, this is a 10-digit code. The first digit of it, I believe, if I'm
Is 0.
correct, is a 0, right?
I have
Which
them
would
written down
only
in my
be
notes.
there if, of course, it's supposed to be specifically 10 numbers, right?
Mhm.
Whether it's a designation code or something, but it's specifically supposed to be 10. It's not like it's, you're supposed to drop the 0 or anything and it's only supposed to be 9 or something.
Right.
And that kind of makes you recall the amount of rotary switches that are missing from the lab, which is 10.
Yeah. Okay.
However, Forrest, what you piece together is you take a look at those the two sets of 3 digits,
Mm-hmm.
and though you haven't seen many like this in this pattern, you do actually recognize that you're like, wait a minute, that's the decimal system for a library.
Surprised Nora didn't recognize that. It's amazing.
You rolled intelligence rather than library use, so I wanted to give you
Yeah, that's
something
fair.
non-library
Yeah.
related, right?
Yeah, it's the dopey decimal. No, not dopey. Dewey.
I feel like Nora would have almost been proud.
Yeah. Dewey decimal system.
Decimal.
Wonderful.
Decimal. Okay, got it.
And
Thanks.
with that,
everybody in the
Nora,
room hearing
looking at
this?
it does appear to match up to the basic format of what a Dewey Decimal System number would be for a book. You can give me a library use for taking a look at that.
Yes.
Is Cherry hearing this?
You're probably walking in about now, right?
Okay.
Success.
Nice. So yeah, so it's let's see here. Yes, this is all right. Window. Let me type in the number just to be sure. Where was it? I was just going to copy and paste it, and now I can't find where I messaged it. Here we go.
Okay, I googled it in the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah,
That's
which
English.
is pretty much exactly what I'm doing. You have to change, of course, the comma to a decimal, but yeah. So yeah. So essentially, it's in reference to English fiction, and I believe specifically science fiction. Let's see. I can.
Science fiction is such a large umbrella.
Oh, exactly right.
But it's specifically, let's see, 912 from, well, currently it's 1901 to 1945 English fiction.
Right, yeah.
Not quite as big back
The
then.
Hobbit is on the top of the selected works under.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But yeah,
There's
so this
1984 Animal Farm, yeah.
definitely comes up to being part of the Dewey Decimal System, which you're pretty sure isn't a coincidence. You still have a feeling that it's connected to what you thought before, where it's connected to those two combination locks mentioned in Dr. Sommerfeld's journal.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems that it also goes to the, a Dewey Decimal System. And thinking with that, Nora recalls that an ISBN for a book is 10 digits.
I'm curious.
I'm kind of proud of that one.
So, yeah, Cherry, you walk in and...
I was right! I knew it. Okay, sorry.
What?
I started skimming through the list of books in there, and then my eyes spotted The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, and realized the time shenanigans that have been happening, so I Googled the ISBN, and that's for The Time Machine.
Yep.
Okay.
That it is, yes. Which Nora will probably have to go to at a library and figure that out.
Yeah, she'll have to actually go and figure that out.
Oh,
She
yeah,
doesn't have
that's
Google
exactly what it is.
Wait, she can't go to the library.
But I saw The Time Machine on that list, and I was like, wait a minute.
Not by herself.
Yeah, no, she can't go to the library.
Okay. I'm just proud to have figured it out.
Right. No, I like that. Thank you for looking it up.
Do I hear that Nora says, I knew it?
No, that was out of character because she doesn't know that the Time Machine is... I don't think Nora reads very much fiction, to be honest.
Okay. I wasn't sure if that would be one of the stories that she might have read or anything like that.
No, I'm guessing what I sent her for is probably the first time she set foot in that section.
That's fair.
But
maybe Forrest actually has read that book more than Nora.
Honestly, I could see her into Agatha Christie.
Right. Yeah.
Or like Arthur Conan Doyle, those type of stories.
I could see that. But yeah, Cherry, you walk in right essentially as moments before Nora realizes, wait, this 10-digit number could be an ISBN. Because you walk in and you hear Forrest mumbling his way through trying to say the Dewey Decimal System.
It's almost been exactly 80 years since... Oh, no, wait, no. That's not how math works. Sorry, I was just Googling when The Hobbit was published. It was September 21st, 1937, so we're just a couple days beyond the anniversary of when it was first published.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my ADHD just went like, what?
That's what mine is doing. That's why I'm Googling these random stuff.
Right, yeah.
It went like, we should just shut our brain off. So, let me regroup. She'll come in, hear him say that, look at him and go, good job, buddy. And she'll pat him on the back and say, I mean, it's all out in the open. We work for the OSS between the three of us, right?
Right.
I'll say,
yeah.
Guess who that was?
I'm hoping it's Gleason. I can't think of anybody else who would know you're here. I would expect you to be here.
It was Gleason, and he asked me out on a date.
Aren't you a bit young for him?
He's, I think, a year older than Forrest, so he's 24.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a lot younger than I was.
But
yeah, because what, Forrest is 23?
No.
he didn't really ask me out on a date. He's coming here, and I was just.
Oh, okay. I mean, he generally likes singers. I mean, I remember these two French girls in.
I don't need to know this stuff.
Oh, okay.
I need to go to the library.
What?
You can't go to the library.
Yes, you can.
Well,
I can go.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not. They'll get mad if I get up and take you.
Forrest, being that this is essentially your last day in the hospital, like the nurses are getting some of the paperwork and everything ready to discharge you because you've made a decent enough recovery that you don't have to stay there, right? You can also give me a Constitution roll for this last, week essentially. I gotta go back to this.
Midna, what is your obsession?
Hard
with
success.
cardboard?
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a D3 plus 1.
Let's see, what would
See how much you get back.
D3? Well, I was just looking. What would pump it to an extreme?
An extreme would be 6 luck.
Okay, nah, I'm not gonna blow 13. Okay, so you said 1d3 plus 1?
Plus 1, yeah.
I think he said it would cost you 6 luck, so you would only need to bring it down by 6 points.
Right.
Not 13 to bring it down to 6.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want to make it an extreme, you can.
Yeah, the extreme would make it me 2 roll. Give me 2, wouldn't it? No, I think I'm guaranteed 2, and I'm only 3 down.
Mm-hmm.
So
right. Yeah.
At best, I'm just going to be a little.
All right.
And I finally maxed it out. I'm at full.
Yeah. Awesome. Go ahead and that bonus extra that you got, go ahead and carry that over as 1 to your sanity.
Okay.
Did Gleason say how long he'll be?
He said he was on his way now. Yeah.
That was my inner voice also.
Okay. Well, we can go after Gleason gets here because they're almost about to kick me out. So
yeah.
Forrest, you are
everybody can also, because of the time transition over the past month, go ahead and give me a luck roll, everybody, and this is to potentially improve your luck.
Oh, good.
So you want to fail it.
Good.
should have Vorrt roll.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, Vorrt will get a chance when he's back and everything.
How much luck does that recover?
A D10.
About me?
For anybody that failed their luck, except Forrest.
Oh no!
You are far too lucky, apparently, to get luck.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm back above 50.
Let's see. D.
All right.
I got my.
3.
I got my Nora based composure back at 40 at least. So.
I got one. 3 and 6.
So I gotta.
Let's see. Trying to think of something to give you for having an extreme luck roll, but I can't think of anything right now. Even though it was just a advancement roll.
I'm gonna say that him not having to get creative to keep Nora from going to the place because they're getting me ready to discharge. Gleason's going to be showing up, so she can't just leave right away until Gleason shows up. So everything just kind of lined in.
Gleason might be going to the bar first because I think that's where he was going to meet.
Yeah, but but that's not what
Right.
Well, and to be fair, Nora's not like jumping at the bit to go without Forrest after the last experience at the library, even if she barely remembers it.
Yeah.
She remembers how she felt when she realized, oh, I'm already back at the hospital.
Forrest, I will give you this, which it'll be completely up to Forrest on whether or not he shares this information, knowing that Cherry apparently has a potential date with Agent Gleason now. But in the time that you've known him, which, I mean, you've served together pretty much all throughout the war. There were a couple missions that you did separately, but for the most part, pretty much every single one you did, you were side by side. But you don't really know Gleason's first name. You remember that you heard it once while you were rather drunk, but you don't quite recall what his first name actually is. You know that Gleason has always shied away from using his first name pretty much any time he can. You assume that's one of the reasons he decided to do a career in the military and the government, where it's so pretty much socially expected to go by your last name all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And thinking about it, the only clue that you really have as to what his first name may or may not be is when you've seen him sign documents. He signs it as G.E. Gleason. So just the letters G and E, or initials G and E, which I'll do in the chat.
Jehoshaphat, yeah, at this point, it's Jehoshaphat Eugene Gleason.
Right.
Is what he assumes it is, but
Was it Nebuchadnezzar?
I'm never going. I think I'll stay away. I think I'll stay away from that because he does remember. He does acknowledge that he's skirting certain lines, and you don't poke, you don't poke the bear when you're in the same trash can, when you're getting food out of the same trash can that it is. That's a
Cherry better not be the trash can.
That's got to be on a t-shirt.
That does have to be on a t-shirt, but that's a bad way to refer to the Matthews sisters as trash cans.
Right.
So
I was like,
that is a bad analogy. That he's happy is just in his mind.
Yeah, we'll just gloss over that, go completely past it, right?
I just realized I've been spelling Gleason wrong in my notes. I thought it was I-E, not E-E.
I mean, that's how I've been spelling it. I don't know the proper way to spell the last name, if there is, but that's the way I've been doing it.
Cherry's going to look at them and say, well, I'm going to go. I'm meeting him where I
at Doyle's Tavern.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Where
okay.
I sing. You guys are welcome to meet us there later. Who am I kidding?
It's been
never mind. There's probably many different spellings of it. It was originally a Irish last name.
Yeah.
So long since I had.
Your ADHD called mine to go, abort! We have no idea what's happening.
It's so long since I've had beer.
Spelling.
All right.
We'll probably hit the library first.
Yes. Okay. So
Wait,
Cherry, you're gonna head on.
Change really quick.
Yeah. I mean.
Okay. Well, I was asking Forrest.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha.
Forrest, can I use your bathroom real quick?
Yeah.
And what's funny is she carries a bag equivalent for the time. It looks really small, but she does come out in a completely different dress that looks almost impossible to have fit in this little bag. Do I have to roll anything?
Nah.
Okay.
You're fine. Typically, this would probably be something in relation to credit rating, right? But no. Sorry, Cherry has a decent credit rating, so it's well within the realm of possibility that she has a backup dress. Right. And a bag.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, and of course, Nora, there's still some of the entries for the journal. Let's see. Looks like we just got 3, I think, because they've been trying to keep the ones that we haven't read in bold on the handout. So July 6th, 13th, and 27th is what we have in the journal. Feel free to take a look at either of those and see if there's a particular one that you want to touch on. But for now, of course, Cherry comes out in this dress. What's the dress look like?
What year is it again?
1945.
I will say, out of character, this I know. She's probably in a green velvet dress, very Great Gatsby looking.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably, because she's performing, it's probably floor length.
Okay.
And it looks like hella fancy and shouldn't have fit in her purse. And she'll look at Nora. Look, it's green. What do you think?
Looks good.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye.
Nurse comes in right as Cherry leaves with the checkout paperwork and everything.
Perfect
all right,
timing.
well.
Thank you.
Yeah, you two have a good evening. And at that moment, at her saying that, and the nurse kind of starts to blush again, you recognize it's the same nurse from when you two woke up. And she just takes the signed paperwork back and slowly and quietly kind of just walks back out the room.
Well, look at, why was she blushing?
Don't ask. Oh yeah, because Nora was the only one that spotted the nurse that time.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
Well, technically I can't not ask, but you can say you don't want to answer me. And I give her a grin.
Let's go to the library.
Okay. let me get some pants on. And then
Still in the hospital smock.
I'm still in the bed, still in the hospital smock, so I
like it.
Yep.
I will wait outside.
Yep.
Wait.
Flip out of the bed.
Wow, that was real quick.
Yep. Unfortunately too late realizing that this thing, there is no bottom to it, so it drops down as I'm flopping over, but I stick the dismount. That's the important part. And
that's wise words right there for life.
That's what I'm trying to do currently.
Right. Me too. Me too.
Hilarious.
And I grab the
Yeah, Nora waits outside his hotel room.
Yeah.
Hotel.
You essentially have the same clothes that you came in with.
Yeah.
You probably have a replacement shirt.
Yep.
Right. But other than that, it's pretty much about the same.
Well, it's probably realistically, it's probably the bag that if they grab the bag, it's probably the bag. I'm still probably technically wearing Western wear.
Right. And actually, because you were coming right from a hotel, you probably have your bag with an actual change of clothes and everything in there.
Yep.
So that was convenient.
Yes. All right. So I let's see. Okay, so I find the all right, so I find the preppy Harvard student clothing that I put on.
All right.
And then with a spring in my step, I head out.
I'm gonna say this is let's see. Yeah, so this is essentially the same day that you got the telegram and the letter, so this would be a Monday.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. It's keeping things straight. So it's Monday, December 3rd right now, meaning it is going to be cold out. There is snow.
It's morning?
Hmm?
I'm meeting him at a bar in the morning?
Or like lunch.
Oh, okay.
It's getting closer to lunchtime or whatnot, but it's
well, I didn't know she had
trying to figure out because the morning, I believe, is when Nora picked up the letter and the telegram and everything.
Okay.
Was earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. So Forrest and Nora, how do you go to the library? Do you just hail a cab or? Or do you think Forrest's car would be here at the hospital? Because I'm trying to remember if it was Forrest's car that you were at the shoot with, or if it was Rocco's.
I think it was Rocco's.
Yeah. Okay. So on your way out, like you'll have to get a cab or something on your way to the library. You do notice Rocco's car in the parking lot, though.
Yeah, don't we know he's
Yeah, you know that he's getting at least a little treatment, like he's getting them to take a look at everything, to try to recover from his bruises, make sure he didn't break anything during his encounter this past Friday, pretty much. You know that he was trying to tough it out, but then over a weekend of dealing with the pain and a couple things, he started realizing, I think part of this might be worse than I think. So he went and didn't really fully check himself in necessarily, but enough that he's getting, professional advice with whether or not he broke or, did anything worse, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so what are the credit ratings for both you two, Nora and Forrest?
Yeah, I was to be honest.
I'm a student, not great.
Yeah, Forrest would probably, as long as it was within reasonable walking distance,
right?
Just
10.
enjoy
10.
walking.
Okay.
Oh,
It is a little bit of a walk.
I have a 15.
Okay. That's
Where's the scale on this thing? Oh, there it is.
of course now it's in feet, which is horribly inaccurate. But at least can everybody see the arrow on the map?
Hang on, I'm trying to get rid of stuff. It's the one.
Okay, so it looks like a quarter of a mile is about the same as the what's the word?
The grid.
An inch?
The grid.
The
Thank
grid.
you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1, 2,
About
3,
a quarter of a mile is a grid.
4. So it's a little over a mile walk, probably.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not necessarily. If each square is a quarter mile,
Yeah,
it's about 4 squares till you get to where it is. And because of Auburn Street, you can just walk straight down that, and it's mostly a direct path.
Although it is December.
Right. It is December, so it might take a little bit doing a mile walk, but
Yeah.
Cherry, how do you get to the tavern? Do you have your own vehicle?
Takes a cab.
You take a cab?
Takes
Okay.
a cab.
Same with her credit rating, yeah.
Right. Did Cherry have her own place, or did she stay at a nice hotel in the area since she's not necessarily permanently in the area?
I want to understand she's renting an apartment in the area.
Okay. Okay.
I thought that's what we discussed.
Yeah, that's fine. Either way.
Okay.
So yeah, Cherry, you got your cab, taking you on down towards Doyle's Tavern. Series of minutes and everything after that is when Nora and Forrest end up needing to get a cab as well. But you two decide to walk, or?
No, it's a little too cold for her. I'd hail a cab.
Okay.
And pay for it.
Yeah. You get a cab for the ride over.
I figured Nora normally walks when she goes anywhere on campus for the most part. So
right.
You can even say something like that, but I don't think he would say it to her face.
No, he would just.
It's too cold for him to be comfortable.
He would
Nora
just
walking, right?
Yeah, right.
That's fair.
It would just.
Let's see here.
No, and he also calculated that if we
45.
if they get to the bar, generally he can get Gleason drunk enough to pay for it. So himself to be generous.
Right.
So
Right.
he reasonably can, should be able to get through this,
Yeah.
and get a meal out of this.
Ava, did you have a chance to look at those journal entries?
Oh yeah, I think I read all those last week.
Okay.
Not out loud on stream, but I've read all of them.
While you and Forrest are on your way off to the library in the cab, go ahead and read the Friday, July 6th entry that he has on there
All
for
right.
everybody.
So, Friday, July 6th. I love Eve so much. We were laughing this afternoon. I was finally really laughing for once. I am so lucky to be with her. Our initial experiments have been an amazing success. I can't find the right words to express my joy. I think this might actually work. I might actually be able to save the Cyclops and prevent the other incidents in the tome. Maybe even prevent the war itself. Though I'm still confused about Schrader's writing as Ishtiraki.
That's as good a pronunciation as I was able to do, honestly.
I'm not even sure what language that is.
Yeah.
It seems as though if he was able to get his hands on the tome like he wanted to in 1918, he believed the Germans would have been set to win World War I. Something about dates and coordinates to test the tome on, and that the American East wouldn't see the destruction coming. But did any of that actually happen? Did Schrader succeed in finding the tome, but fail to use it as a weapon of war? All I can piece together is that he was likely on the Cyclops after it left port in Barbados in 1918, and the ship was never seen again. However, Schrader continued his work after that, proven by several published works in the years that followed, and he left the tome with the German military when he died in 1922, which is how the Nazis eventually got their hands on it. So somehow, Schrader was able to survive whatever it was that happened on board the Cyclops. I need to look more into those coordinates he wrote down and how he tracked down where the tome was. Thankfully, I still have the notes I stole from Berlin.
Yeah. All right. Cherry, so you get to Doyle's Tavern, and upon walking in, Adam actually spots you and seems excited and actually flags you over.
Mm-hmm. She'll walk up to Adam and she's like, "Hey, how have you been?"
Good. I actually found something that you're probably going to be interested in. I found. Let's see, where is it? What's that?
Diamonds?
Oh yeah, your friend. Yeah, that was. Yeah, the name you had.
Oh, it wasn't
right?
diamonds. Oh, okay.
No, diamonds. No, I don't have enough money for diamonds.
It was a joke. It was okay. It was a joke. Go ahead. What?
Sorry. Where was it? And he's looking through something under the bar that he had. Okay, yeah, it's an old picture from a birthday party that happened here a couple months ago.
Oh, okay.
But I think the friend you were looking for, I think he's in the photo. I think he's somewhere in, yeah, and he like points, and essentially Clint Connolly is in the photo, but only by chance. He can be seen in the background, and he's just walking out of the tavern, pretty much right as they took a picture with the main people that were celebrating in the foreground, right? Looking at it.
Adam in the picture?
Adam, no.
Okay.
Adam's not in the picture. Looking at it, Clint Connolly appears to have shoulder-length hair and a beard, which is odd for a machinist to have.
Yeah.
Being the kind of equipment they work with, some have kind of longer hair, but they would typically have it tied back or whatnot if they did. Otherwise, they tended to keep it short. You do know that Clint Connolly did leave the Manhattan Project about a year ago and was able to evade most, further government surveillance since then. So it's likely that he grew his hair out in an effort to avoid being recognized.
Okay.
Looking, and you remember from the file that you got handed on for Clint, his photo shows that he had kind of like medium length, well, not necessarily medium length, but like maybe his hair was about 4 or so inches long, parted in the middle. Or parted off to one side, rather. I'm sorry. And he
Okay.
had a mustache. But it definitely wasn't shoulder length with a full beard.
Okay. So he looks like a Vietnam vet. In the
Potentially, yeah.
1940s.
Yeah. Like a guy that probably isn't necessarily taking care of himself too well. But looking at the picture and everything, you do recognize it as him. It does seem like it is, in fact, Clint Connolly, based on what you can tell. I was like, yeah, so was that him? Or, right?
I
I'm
think
pretty sure that
is
was
him.
Clint. What?
Yeah, I think that might be him. He looks so different.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's the way he looked pretty much every time he came in.
that is crazy.
I'm sure he could have used a shower every once in a while, but
Yeah, and she's gonna put her hand on his hand just
Mhm.
because that's her. She'll say, "I really appreciate all your help, Adam. Thank you so much."
Yeah, uh, you're welcome.
Well, if you find anything else, let me know. I would really love to find him.
Yeah, that's so far been the only thing I've really been able to dig up. You did see that the photo does have a date on the back, which was, pretty much 2 months ago.
Okay.
So,
Do I recognize anyone else in the photo from the list?
you've probably seen some of them around campus, but no one specific of note,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Can I keep the picture?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, sure. It was supposed to belong to the people that had the party, but they kept forgetting to pick it back up.
Oh, okay. And just some random picture was lying around? That's weird.
No, I have a camera and I took a couple shots and I was gonna develop it and then give it to them and then they just never picked it up.
Well,
Yeah.
that's nice of you. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they had a different friend there that also took some pictures, so I'm guessing they were fine with just those or something.
oh, okay. Hey,
What are you drinking?
I will take a martini, and I think I'm going to go play around with the piano a little. I'm waiting
Okay.
for a friend of mine.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, piano's right over there. I'll get the martini ready and be over there.
Okay. Thanks, Adam.
All right. Yeah, sure thing. Forrest and Nora, you get to where you're going with a cab. Ava, if you're able, could you go ahead and read the other entry to Dr. Sommerfeld's journal, Friday, July 13th? So this was a week after he talked about saving the Cyclops potentially and possibly the entire war, right?
Right. Friday, July 13th. Eve wants me to do the meditation again. She says it would help, and I must admit my mind has started feeling off recently. Doing the meditation might help me get back to thinking the way I need to, but it just doesn't feel right. I know we were working through problems and coming up with solutions so easily, but I just don't like the things I saw last time. I did some digging on Yog-Sothoth, and I couldn't find any mention of it in any spiritual texts from the library, but I did find it mentioned in the tome. I have yet to mention the tome to Eve at all. I've just been able to convince her that the metal box it's in is a battery of my own design. It makes me wonder how Eve is connected to the tome. How often does she do these meditations?
And with reading that journal entry, Nora, let's see, where are my notes on this part? In your research over the past month, trying to figure out where anything more on Yog-Sothoth, you, of course, were able to come across, a basic occult reference book in the library that was where you saw the name Yog-Sothoth for something. It didn't go into any detail on it and related it to a certain symbol, and that's when you recognized that that symbol was on the cover of the tome, right?
Yeah.
Well, you recall now after reading that that reference also referenced Yog-Sothoth in relation to the Necronomicon,
Okay.
which Nora remembers now is in the Armitage collection
Yep.
where the tome was. But of course, that's in the library where the 7-foot man typically
That's okay. We're heading to the library.
frequents. Right.
We can stop there.
Yeah. And with that, I think we'll go to break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Shadows and Nox with Echoes of the OSS. Going back into our story for tonight, Forrest and Nora just got to the library where Nora has not only the looking up possibly the Time Machine by H.G. Wells, but also possibly hunting down the Armitage collection again to dig out the Necronomicon, because that's always fun and nothing bad ever happens from that. So
Please safe.
yeah, the cab pulls you up to the library, drops you off. I'm assuming Forrest pays, right?
Yes. Yep. That
Right.
pay.
And you're able to walk through the snow up to the steps and everything, which it is shoveled for the most part, and snowfall is not too heavy or anything at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's the type that it kind of is melting a little bit, like as it hits the ground, right? But you go up and into the library. Where do you head from there?
Well, first I'm going to the fiction section.
Yeah.
To hunt down what book that's referring to.
Okay. So you do use that as the Dewey Decimal
Yes.
one and everything, yeah.
Yes, I would
Yeah, so you
approach it
find
thinking that.
the area of the library for English fiction, specifically things made within the past 40 or so years, right? And looking through the little card catalog and everything in that section, you do find, well, give me a library use roll.
Oh, you rat. All right. Well, there goes some of my luck that I just got because I'm going to bring that down to a success.
So yeah, you find that the ISBN goes to H.G. Wells, The Time Machine.
Yeah.
Looking through the stacks themselves, however, you do not find a copy of H.G. Wells' The Time Machine actually on the shelf.
I think the title alone is pretty telling.
Right.
I don't know if it's necessarily the book that's important so much as
Right.
the title.
Did you want to check with one of the librarians in regards to it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would just in case.
The librarian that you actually end up talking to recognizes you from one of the previous times that you've been in. It was like, oh, hey, are you here for something else for Dr. Sommerfeld?
No, actually.
Okay.
I was looking for The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I don't see it on the shelf, so I was just wondering if you
yeah, let me
put it on
see.
hold or.
And pulls out a little stack of papers and a folder and everything and is looking through.
I can't
Yeah, it
imagine
looks
doing
like the copies that we have are actually all checked out. One of them is actually, oddly enough, currently checked out to Dr. Sommerfeld. So looks like it's been checked out to him for a while. I guess that's his trend, right?
It seems so.
But yeah, it's I mean, it's not due until the end of the semester, and that so he's still got a couple of weeks on it. But
No worries.
yeah,
I'll
sorry,
check back.
we don't have any more. What's
That's
that?
all right. I'll check back later.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna
Anything
go
else I
down.
can help you with?
No, that's all. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
and then we're gonna go down and check the
All right.
Armitage collection.
As you head down there, go ahead and give me spot hidden rolls.
Mm,
Both you and
Okay.
Forrest, at least. All right.
I am on it.
Yeah.
I'm paranoid
So,
being back down here again.
Forrest, it was one thing walking through the library itself and the dizzying amount of books and stacks everywhere. But Nora turns a corner and goes down a series of stairs that looks like she's going essentially into a basement for the place, and you follow her down and everything, probably checking in front of her like as vigilantly as you can.
Yeah.
And it opens into what to you looks like a complete catacombs of books. Just endless stacks in a bunch of different directions. Nora seems like she knows where she's going, but shortly after going through here, you kind of lost track of which way was back out.
Yeah. Great.
You can both give me a listen check.
Wow.
Yes,
Alright.
mark my listen. Told you, paranoid.
Right, yeah. Forrest, you're desperately trying to hear if you can hear anything or whatnot, and there's a bunch of moments where you think you hear footsteps or movement from somewhere, and then you look, and it seems like the sound down here echoes in a way that what you think you heard could have happened like a ways off, a bunch of stacks down, just because there's not much activity down here, and sound just kind of carries, right? At least that's what it seems to be doing for you.
Yep. So I'm effectively I'm pretty close to disoriented.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nora, however, you actually notice that Forrest seems a little lost at the moment. You kind of like, you find your way to the Armitage collection, help him get there, and you, Nora, you do hear what sounds to you like the similar footsteps from one of the last times you were down here, where it seems to
When
be
I
trying to
thought somebody
hide
was following
its
me?
footsteps within yours or Forrest's footsteps.
Yeah, getting that deja vu.
Right. Forrest, go ahead and give me a psychology roll with a bonus die. So you would roll it, and then you essentially roll it twice, and we get the better of the two.
Oof.
Not far off, but yeah. Or actually, yeah, just roll a d10 for the second one, because it's just the first number that we would change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's right. The bonus. That's the
Right.
Sir. Clicker is just okay. Just a D10.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a 18 or a 38. Right. And this would be to read Nora at the moment, which is why I gave you a bonus die, right?
Yep. Okay, I'm using 8 luck.
All right.
To make that work. To read Nora. To make the original 18 failure.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
You do recognize that Nora is feeling uneasy.
Very
and based on what you know of Nora and everything, and just generally being a bodyguard, you have the feeling that she hears or sees something you don't.
Okay. I slip the blackjack out from the hiding location. Take a step closer. Put my hand on her shoulder and make sure I can see every avenue where somebody can come at us.
Okay.
And say, let's get what we need and get out of here.
You do notice as you get closer to the Armitage collection that there is a librarian at a desk right outside
Okay.
the collection.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's just another student at Harvard that's doing
Yep.
their student job essentially.
Yep.
And sees you both and be like, oh well, I recognize you. Are you also here for a book? And points to you, Forrest.
He's with me.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yep.
We don't normally get a lot of visitors, let alone two at once down here.
I understand. I did want to see the Armitage collection, please.
Okay. Are you both going in or just?
Yes, we're both going in.
Okay. Then I'll, and they give you both the rundown of the proper procedure and everything. Give you a set of white gloves. Everything is like, make sure you don't touch anything. And when you do, you are wearing the gloves and, all this, right? The books are very fragile, very old. I know, you know the procedure and everything, but, just make sure your friend, follows it as well, all right?
Yeah, I'll be careful.
And essentially they sign a little ledger saying, showing that you two entered at this time, right? They unlock the door and let you in.
So they show us the ledger. So they it's just a normal ledger they spin around and show to us.
It's
spin
in just a book that they see, but they write your names and everything, and you can see enough to know that that's what they're doing.
Okay.
But there is a log essentially they keep of who enters when and everything.
Can I see the previous entry?
Go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll.
Of course, my continual pattern of failure. which I'm actually nope. I would not see it. I actually would be kind of. I try and be doing the casual lean over and bump into Nora.
You just pick the book up and go, give me that.
Yeah. Looking at it, you're trying to read a name upside down in handwriting.
I was more concerned with the time, to be honest with you.
The last time somebody went in there was probably about a month ago at this point.
Okay.
Right. It was probably towards the beginning of November.
So, okay. So we're not gonna, so there shouldn't be somebody in, so there should not be anybody in there.
Yeah. Cause I'm trying to remember the last time Nora was down here. I want to say it was
October 29th.
Yeah. Yeah.
My notes are well dated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I was actually just looking at that myself because I'm like, that's shortly after I was there.
Yeah, essentially it seems as though one other person went in here after Nora did last time, right? But it's just one of the other professors, probably in the English department. So no one of note necessarily. But yeah, you go in, the you turn the little button switch to have the lights, which seem to slowly flicker on. You can actually hear the buzzing and everything of it. And Forrest, since this is your first time entering, it seems as though it's a small, little room, rectangular in shape, kind of like it's just a hallway with two, like waist-high bookshelves on both sides.
Oh, good.
They both have an end cap book, which is at the head of each of the shelves. And let's see.
But waist high means I can see everything. I can see the entire area.
Right, yeah. And it's a small room. There's not much else in here other than, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 spots for books that are not on a bookshelf like with a spine out like normally would. They're actually displayed like this is more of a museum.
Okay.
And they each have kind of a little placard where each one would go and a card that would kind of help describe them. There is nowhere for anybody to hide in here.
Okay.
And you don't see anything else in here.
All right.
There's no other exit or entrance or anything.
All right. I can watch the door,
Let's
and you
see.
should be able to get what you need.
And of course, the two books that are kind of like at the head end of the two shelves. Forrest, you do notice that they're both says that they're both by Dr. Henry Armitage, which of course that's where you're like, oh, right, the Armitage collection. Okay, so right.
Yeah.
There's a placard that says that these books were donated from Miskatonic University or on loan rather from Miskatonic University.
Okay.
Let's see, 1, 2, I believe. So that's 2 of them. So the other ones, it's 4 on each side on the bookcases themselves because there's 8 otherwise. 3 of the books are missing. And all 3 of those are ones that were checked out by Nora.
Good.
Okay.
The 2 on cryptography, and then of course the tome, which on paper was still checked out to Nora.
Okay. At this point, Forrest
Mhm.
remembers that he actually had a hand on her shoulder and was actually trying to keep her close to him, and he remembers
Mhm.
to take the hand off of her shoulder. Now that he's starting to get less creeped out.
All right.
Until Nora mentions that the book I'm here for is bound in human skin.
Right. Which does Nora mention that?
Not yet.
I mean, Forrest, go ahead and give me a spot hidden because there are a couple books in here that look to be bound
Yeah, it's not the only one.
in
Yeah. No.
potentially human skin.
Nope. I mean, on
Something
the
you're probably glad not to notice.
on
Yeah.
the plus side, when the 7-foot tall guy gets here, I am ready to fight him.
Right, right.
My rolls are primed for him.
Looking at these books, of course, the 2 on the end look like what you normally recognize as a book. It's just on some sort of weird occult topic.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to be probably published within the last 20 or so years, right? A lot of the other ones look decently old, bound in some sort of odd leather, maybe? But they definitely have a bit of a smell to them that's not your usual book smell.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one that you swear for a second looked like it was sweating, but you're pretty sure it was just a trick of the light or something in the room. Nora, what do you do?
Well, I'm here for one reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go to the Necronomicon.
All right. You see Forrest, Nora goes to one of the books that looks bound in this strange leather. It's done in a way that it's not cleanly bound necessarily from what it looks. It looks like it's stitched together even across the cover and everything and around it. Do you take a look at the card that goes to the book that she's picking up?
Yes, I would.
Okay. The card reads Necronomicon, Book of the Dead by Abdul Al-Hazred, translated by a guy whose name Forrest probably isn't going to remember or be able to pronounce. Alaus Wormius, right?
I'm kind of stuck on Book of the Dead. I mean, he's just...
Book of the Dead in Latin, on loan from Miskatonic University. Otherwise, there's not much that this really mentions of the book. Nothing as far as like a synopsis or a subject, just, it's a Book of the Dead. It's dated to 1228 AD from what this reads, and it's in Latin.
Okay.
Not my best language. Yeah.
And yet, your Latin is probably better than my English.
No, her Latin's only a 20.
Okay, you're right. It's half of my English.
All
I
right.
technically speak German better than I do my native English and Italian.
Right.
Because my German's at a 72.
Yeah, you pretty much can speak it fluently and probably pass as somebody that would live in Germany, right?
Yep. I would like to grab it and get out of here as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So you grab it with a pair of white gloves and everything.
Yeah.
Head on out. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll on your way out there, Nora. Forrest, you can go ahead and give me a listen check.
I only got a 71.
Oh, all right.
Can I push that?
You pretty sure, like, you catch kind of out of the corner of your eye, one of the books in here to you for a brief moment looks like it's sweating.
Can I push that?
Yeah.
Okay. I
right.
pushed
it for a success.
Right.
I pushed my listen for an extreme success.
Well, it's a good thing that you both succeeded on the push, right?
Yeah.
It
didn't look like it was sweating.
So, Forrest, as you head out and everything, Nora kind of gets not stuck or anything, but stalled just slightly on her way out. And Nora, as you look over, you look at a book that's titled in German but translates to Things of the Water. And you are pretty sure it's sweating, or at least has a lot of humidity on it.
That shouldn't be.
That's gross.
I'm gonna touch it.
Okay.
Just like one finger with the gloves.
Right. Exactly.
We could have saved that.
Yeah. It does seem like it has some sort of perspiration on it. You're not sure if it's kind of seems like it would be a cold glass that's just forming water on the outside. The book itself feels kind of warm to the touch, though. And as you pull your hand away and everything, it does have a bit of a salty smell to it. You can go ahead and give me a sanity roll.
Yeah, I was afraid that was coming. It's okay, my sanity's still pretty high.
There might be something wrong with whatever the temperature control, humidity control, or whatnot is for this room, because that's not right at all.
Yeah, I'll definitely suggest that they check the dehumidifier they've got set up in here.
Right. But it doesn't take you long to do that interaction. You follow Forrest out. Forrest, as you get outside, you don't see the attendant at the desk, and it's very, very quiet.
Okay.
Well, this is an appropriate song.
All right.
What song did you have?
The song is Tale of the Shadow, which is
nice.
And it was currently hitting the part where the rigging came alive. She hung my crew before me eyes.
Nice.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, don't like that.
I do the sweeping the little lady behind me protectively that she hates.
I'm perfectly okay with it right now.
And as we walk up to the desk where the kid was, can I look over and see the ledger, or can I look over the desk?
Yes.
Okay.
Give me a spot hidden.
Yeah.
They wouldn't normally.
So you look over the desk. You see the ledger is still there. It's open to where they last wrote, you and Nora in.
Yeah.
But you see behind the desk on the floor is the attendant.
Yeah. Dead, not dead.
It looks like they're breathing. There is a little bit of blood like on their forehead. But other than that, they're out completely.
Okay.
Oh, how headstrong is Nora?
How tall was the
Probably based on
Yeah.
power, so
Oh.
probably a lot.
Okay.
The stairs that
Mhm.
we went up, that we
Yes.
came down? How tall were they? In terms of, were they like, the 6 foot going down into the basement thing?
It's probably more like 10 to 15 feet because the ceiling's pretty high in
Okay.
here with how big the stacks are.
Nora's
Okay.
going to say something.
Okay.
Okay.
And Forrest is going to absolutely probably hate this. Because he can't stop her. Try it. Because like as he's looking over the unconscious attendant, Nora, I'm assuming, doesn't have to make a spot hidden roll to see the unconscious attendant.
Yeah, no.
So she's going to rather loudly. She's not yelling. She's going to say, how is she going to put? Let me remember names here.
Anxiety about what she's about to do.
Joseph, why don't you come out and tell us what Freemantle wants?
Oh, here it is. All right. Okay. I was just looking at something.
Not like she's not like trying to cajole him into it. She's just tired of being afraid.
Right.
And wants to just get this over with, get it out into the open so that I can face it.
All right. Both of you go ahead and give me a sanity roll for the stress of this situation. Wow. Yeah, Nora is very headstrong right now. Yes. And Forrest, you're good. You are not probably necessarily happy that she's goading.
Provoking
Well,
Provoking the big guy, but you've been ready to deal with him since you walked into the library, right, into the building.
Right. It's a plan. She's executing a plan. I'm not saying it's a good plan, but since we got a plan, we haven't reached the point of throwing away the plan yet.
It's better to get him out in the open than having him prowling around the shelves.
Yeah. So at this point, we've got basically the desk space behind us, and Nora basically called out to the open area. Joseph, just come out and we'll figure out what Freemantle wants. So,
right.
So Forrest can basically be in the mode of watching for.
Yeah. You're like on Overwatch, so to speak, right?
Yeah. Head on a swivel.
Exactly. So you hear a series of some heavy footsteps as this 7 foot tall figure comes from around the corner of one of the stacks into view. He's wearing this kind of nicely done, but definitely not quite the right size black suit. Not exactly the right length. It's still definitely a longer one, so it's almost the right size. But he stands 7 feet tall. He's not necessarily very skinny, but he's not necessarily very broad either. Seems to have a little bit of an athletic kind of build. Very dark, kind of sunken eyes, dark hair, and just starts walking towards the two of you.
Does he seem like he's likely to talk?
Go ahead and give me a spot hidden and spot hidden and psychology, honestly. Right.
Well, my spot hidden is a success.
There you go. So you both got that.
Don't have much.
Oh, wow.
Forrest got an amazing. Hey, give yourself a dot for psychology. Hopefully we get to improve that one.
That was not one I
That's
expected.
Amazing.
That was not one I expected to get a dot for.
And a hard success too. Holy
Nora,
crap.
One of the issues in Cthulhu, of course, is seeing things that you probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
As he walks up, you let's see, got a hard success.
She's basically like holding the Necronomicon like this,
like
and
almost
just
protectively, right?
Yeah.
Nora, you looking at him, it doesn't look like he's breathing whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead and give me a sanity check
Mm-hmm.
for that, because like you don't see like any indication of the chest rising or like the nostrils flaring or the mouth or nothing. It's just completely blank,
That's a
like a
failure.
walking statue.
I failed.
Forrest, you see that as well. But reading the psychology that you can of the situation, because his face is still, human, still, readable, right?
Hmm.
It doesn't seem like he's planning to talk, but it it doesn't seem like he's planning to do anything but walk closer right now either.
Okay. I'll still make sure I'm between her
Nora, roll a
and
d4,
him.
please.
3.
All right. So you lose 3.
Yeah.
Nora, you are fairly positive at the moment that this 7-foot thing is not human,
Yeah,
despite the
great.
way it looks.
Great. So I'm feeling kind of like a rabbit in the eyes of a hawk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Breaking out into a cold sweat.
But he keeps walking towards the two of you.
Yep. I shift us so that we kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
I guess the best way to put it is, if shift us so that I'm between her and the golem, but try and shift it so the staircase is behind her.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I am basically this is the equivalent of two combatants. Well, Forrest is treating it like two combatants sizing each other up,
Right.
keeping and keeping distance.
Okay.
But being basically rock hard and like
Right.
solid and steady.
Based on where the Armitage collection is, there's none of the stairwells are within line of sight from it, so you're not sure which way it is. But essentially, with the part that Joseph is walking towards you, there's the exact opposite direction to where Nora can head down the stacks and everything. So you can still position yourself to where she has what appears to be the best exit, right?
Yep.
And you were aware enough that you do try your best to make sure that's the direction that you came to the collection from.
Yeah.
But Joseph gets to be about 5 feet from you and stops. And is just staring at both of you.
Come on, man. Both of our jobs. We're both the big, strong guys, but you're allowed to talk. Rocco mentioned you wouldn't shut up.
He seems to squint his eyes a little bit, and looks like he's trying to look around Forrest at the moment at Nora. He doesn't respond, though.
What do you want? She's trying to sound unaffected.
Right.
But there's
probably a slight crack in the voice one.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Come on, man. We don't need to go here.
And like he's looking, how tall are you, Forrest?
Forrest is 6 foot.
That's personal.
3.
Okay.
Nora very easily hides behind him.
Yeah.
Right.
She's 4'10" and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, she's all right.
So it seems like eventually he's able to look around Forrest enough without getting any closer or anything at what he seemed like he was trying to look for. And then Forrest and Nora, go ahead and give me a psychology roll.
I guess if I roll it enough, I'll
Oof,
succeed.
nice.
Nope.
Wow.
Oh, all right.
Dang, Forrest.
Right? Yeah, Forrest is watching this guy, right? So
Got his number.
his expression doesn't barely changes at all. But Forrest, you recognize it. It goes from the very blank kind of slate that it was to essentially like a tombstone style stare in your general direction. And you essentially will have initiative on him as he goes towards you.
Yep.
So whatever it was he was looking for, he's seen it and he wants it.
Okay.
So what do you do? With your dexterity, you easily have
Yeah.
the initiative on him at the moment.
Yep. Well, the is he coming at me in a charge, or is he
seems to be reaching for you, yeah.
He's reaching for me.
Yeah. Which, with how long his arms are, he probably just has to take a slight step forward to be able to reach you from starting 5 feet away, right?
Yep. So yeah. Then I don't really. Well, I've researched golems, and they're really unstoppable. So I would have to use.
And you have seen that he, with the lack of breathing and everything he seems to do, his mouth does not open.
Yeah. So so the best thing to do then,
or at least he's not opening it, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, Forrest has fought bigger guys than him. So the best thing to do is to send them into something hard. So that's effectively the brawl he's going.
Divert his momentum and weight into him hurting himself, essentially. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, it'd be a brawl roll.
Yep.
Right.
I say clear.
Normal difficulty. So
I say clear left. And hopefully Nora's smart enough to figure out what that is. If not, but effectively,
Nora, you can give me an intelligence check. Normally, I probably wouldn't have you make even an intelligence check for that, but with the stress of the situation, everything, right?
Hard success.
Yeah. You almost instinctively know which direction he wants you to go for, right?
Yep. Okay. All right. So, brawl roll you wanted, normal difficulty.
Yes. All right. So I will do an opposed roll, and I essentially.
So that's only like 2 to get that down to a hard success,
right?
Isn't it?
So for him, essentially, he's going to try to fight back with it. He's not going to dodge or anything. That's not his style, right? So that means he has to get 1 success level better than you.
Yep. So I would
to get the advantage of this.
Yeah. So since it's just because all it takes is 45 to get me to a hard success, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to use the luck.
All right. So that means he has to get an extreme success to be able to get the upper hand in this situation. If he gets a hard success, then you still essentially get what you're aiming for.
Yep.
He gets a success, but not a hard one, right?
That would bug me a lot if that was
right.
If that was a hard
if that was the case, you're definitely fighting something out of this world.
So I'm fighting something with 130 brawl.
Right. But yeah, it's definitely very difficult to move him in a way that he doesn't want to be moved. but you are able to pull it off. What were you trying to divert him into? Like a wall or the desk or anything specific, or just the hardest thing you could see kind of thing?
At this point, yeah, it would be, honestly, it would probably be something, a wall, or if there was a half shell, yeah, no, just a wall, something hard.
Okay.
Thump him solid into the
go
wall.
ahead and roll me another brawl roll.
Okay.
You'll be able to get to do your. Oh, nice. How close is that to an extreme?
What's it? Extreme is like one.
There's like a fifth of it, so.
So yeah,
What?
that's within a couple of an extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 is 1/5 of 90.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's I'm gonna.
All right.
I'm gonna use my luck on this.
All right.
So yeah,
so
that was
that's
extreme.
luck. You get an extreme.
Yep.
So essentially, let's see. I have to look up rules in a book now. But so the damage that you'll get to do with this is you'll get to add your damage bonus, which I believe you have, right?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. And go ahead and roll what a D3 plus your damage bonus plus 1 or
1d4.
Yeah.
It says a damage bonus of 1d4.
Okay. So a D3 and a D4, and then you add 4 to that.
Oh, and I add 4 to that. So that would be 11.
From the extreme success.
Yep. That would be 11.
11. All right. And let's see. Christina's got to go, it seems. So
Is 11.
Right, yes. So you divert him right into the wall. You and Nora both hear how hard he smacks right into this brick corner of one of the walls. And you see his face hits it first, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of stumbles back a little bit from it and just stands there for a moment and then turns towards you and everything. And you actually see the 90-degree crease in his face from where he hit it.
Oh, how special.
He doesn't seem to stop or necessarily be phased by it. Go ahead and give me sanity rolls, as we'll call it for the night.
Okay. Do I have to?
All right. All right. You are both. It'll be just one sanity from it, but you are both pretty sure it's got to be something with the lighting down here.
There's no way he's an actual golem, right?
Right. All right. There's no way that he could have a full-on 90-degree crease in his skull.
It's a shadow.
And not seem to be reacting to it. But yeah. That'll do it for tonight. Thank you, everybody, for watching and for listening. Anybody got anything else for the week that they want to announce?
Yeah. Tomorrow night, we are going to, at 7:30 Eastern, we're going to be playing Cthulhu. Not Cthulhu. Shadowrun here. And if you want to, and I believe there still probably will be space in it. So if you want to hop in, join in the Discord, the link will be here and you can hop in. There are pre-gens available and new people are always welcome. Even if you're new to Shadowrun. Wednesday, let's see what, I actually have that up. Yeah. So Wednesday, I believe we've got Power Ranger Centurion going on. And then I think we're quiet until next Monday for Echoes of the OSS. Another Echoes of the OSS. in
Next
which we
week.
get to
find out what's
Yeah.
going on with a 7-foot man with a crease in his face,
well, we
among other things.
yeah, we could do that, or we could take off for the. I could tell.
GTFO.
Yeah, I could tell Nora to take off for the stairs.
Right. No, I
and
think
then
even
follow
at
her.
that moment, Forrest is even likely like, yeah, no, I think we can both run out of here. I think
Yep.
we're good.
Nope. He's off balance at this moment. So yeah, it's going to be a. Well, if nothing else, too, Nora's smart. Nora remembers where the stairs are, so I can follow her.
Mhm. Yeah.
This way.
Yeah.
I was fast enough to outrun him the first time. I can
Right.
do it again.
Yeah. Well, it won't matter because once we get going, once you find the stairs, I can just pick you up,
Mhm.
put you under my arm, and carry you out.
And keep going.
Yeah. Oh.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
Thank you all
Back
for
next.
playing. Thank you all for watching. Good night.
Good night.